Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Gourmet Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into the PTA pregame show. Getting ahead of myself. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access as we're getting ready for kickoff here in roughly an hour, a little bit more, right? As the Packers going to take on the Seahawks in the final preseason game here of the 2025 season. And then, of course, we'll have to do a roster cut down in about 3 days and then get ready for week one against the Detroit Lions, who are playing right now. They're currently losing to the Houston Texans, albeit we know preseason the score really doesn't matter, right? It's who's looked good, who has not. So hopefully everybody's having an awesome afternoon. We'll take you right up to kickoff here. Emilio will be joining me shortly. Surprise, surprise, he's late, right? So we'll make sure we give him heck when he does jump in here. But before we get everything started and take you down to Lambeau Field and show you some shots from inside the stadium and everything that's going on around, as you see this background, a shot earlier today, it looked like it was beautiful skies, well before kickoff, obviously, and then some weather rolled in. Let's do this. Let's do that YouTube stuff. Let's hit like. Let's hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, thank you for making us a part of your pregame festivities. Listen, we're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you here talking Packers on the daily, doing pregame shows, postgame shows, in-depth analysis. We'll do film breakdown, the whole 9 yards. So anytime you're looking for breaking news geared around the Green Bay Packers, make sure you got that bell icon clicked so you get notified every time we do go live. I know there's a bunch of people already in the chat here, and I want to do this. Forgot to promote it this morning on the show. Patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Appreciate everybody that's supporting us over there. It's the best way to support what we do here at PTA. We're going to be doing a giveaway. I was going to do it tonight. We're going to hold it till tomorrow to give people time to join that wants to. Anybody who's a member of the $3 tier here on patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access will get yourself entered into the drawing for the Lucas Van Ness autograph rookie card. Okay, so we'll be doing that. We may do it the post-game show. I just wanted to give people time to jump in. Also, if you're not familiar with Patreon, you'd rather not do that. You're familiar with YouTube. If you join as a member on YouTube, that gets you entered into the giveaway as well. Although Patreon, you're going to get a lot more content, that type of thing. So obviously, beautiful setting today in Lambeau Field, around Lambeau Field. I'm sure the festivities were great. We got Tim and Jake, our boots on the ground down there. We'll see if they've got enough service to call in and give us a little bit of a vibe check down there at Lambeau. Inside the stadium, seen some pictures like this coming in earlier. You notice the clouds started to roll in, but still just a perfect day for football in Titletown. There's no doubt about that. Let's go to the chat real quick. I know we got a bunch of people in here. I want to give a quick little roll call for some of you guys and gals. Probably too many to actually try to hit on everybody. We got Josh Vallanningham, Chris the Casual In, Joseph. We got Fishy Things, Clint the Armchair Quarterback, Robert Bertana. We got Miss Jen Wright in the house. We got everybody. United Bates, good to see you, buddy. Stacy Mitchell, everybody following in now. Mike Berry. It's great seeing some of the people that hadn't been around for a while. Football season's rolling up on us, and they're now jumping back in the chat. So there's Dan Lane, King Tron. Hopefully everybody is having an awesome day here. All right, let's get to it. Wes Hokowitz posted this video a little bit earlier today, just talking about how it's a beautiful day at Lambeau, getting ready for 3 p.m. kickoff. As you can see, beautiful skies earlier today. Maybe it'll clear back up as well, but it really doesn't. I'd like to see us get a little bit of wind and get some of these guys used to how the wind might swirl a little bit down there in Lambeau as well. So obviously, this video from Wes Hokowitz earlier, absolutely gorgeous down there. I want to ask you guys in the chat, what are y'all excited about today? What do y'all want to see? Name a position battle or a specific player that will most likely play today. Who do you want to see today in this final preseason matchup here at Lambeau? Obviously, we talked a little bit earlier today about that from our Patreon group. We've got a couple of articles right up, just kind of giving you an idea of some of the position battles that I'm keyed in on today. One of which is obviously QB3. We talked about a little bit earlier today, Sean Clifford versus Taylor Elgersma, to see who's going to take that practice squad spot. Still a chance that they carry both those guys. We'll see how that all shakes out as well. Let's see what everybody's saying here in the chat. Jacob Taylor in the chat says excited for some backup corner action. We talked about that a little bit earlier today too, Jacob. As you have several guys really fighting for a spot. Some of the names that come to mind: Kalen King, Kamal Haddon, Micah Robinson, and Corey Ballantyne, obviously battling for a spot here on the roster. I kind of feel like it's going to be Kalen King and Bo Melton as the final two cornerbacks. But again, we'll see what Kamal Haddon, Micah Robinson, and Corey Ballantyne do today. Micah Robinson, I feel like, would be the next in line. Maybe it's Corey Ballantyne. I don't feel like Kamal Haddon has had too good of a camp. You guys correct me if I'm wrong or if you disagree there in the chat. But yeah, it's just one of those things when it comes to the cornerback room. You've got to really take into consideration special teams. That's why I think we've got to the point where Bo Melton is just an absolute lock for this 53-man roster. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Holmes MD1, great football weather. Got a bit cloudy. It's pretty windy, Clay. Hey, that's what we want to hear, right, Holmes? I want to see Malik Willis spin that thing into the wind. I want to see these receivers that are fighting for spots, whether it be on the 53 or the practice squad. I want to see them fight to adjust. Another thing, when it comes to kick returns, we'll probably have Izzy back there returning kicks again. Sounds like Keyshawn Nixon is planning on being the kick returner this year, but want to see some of these players take punts, right, and try to return those in a swirling wind for sure. Holmes, where are you located at down there? Let us know in the chat, man, roughly where you're sitting. And again, I know it got cloudy. Matter of fact, I think we've got an updated look here. We'll drop this down real quick and get back to that in a second. But this was the latest photo we seen, so it did cloud up a little bit as the fans started to file in to Lambeau here. So also in the chat, let's just go through it here. Clint, the armchair quarterback, says Amar, right? Completely agree, man. Amar Johnson's probably the player I'm most excited about in terms of someone that might land on the practice squad and could contribute at a later date. The big battle here at the running back spot, in my opinion, is kind of like what Bill Huber was saying. If you assume Marshawn Lloyd's going to start on IR, I haven't heard any kind of confirmation either way. It kind of felt like there was a chance he'd land on IR for at least a few weeks. That 4 week or a little bit longer, obviously, where you could open up the practice window. If that were the case and you carry three, obviously you got Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson, and Chris Brooks as your three running backs. So the candidates here are Izzy Abanikanda, and then obviously my guy, Amar Johnson. Absolutely love that dude. So if you're only going to carry one of those onto the practice squad, I'm personally leaning toward Amar Johnson. And I know many people are leaning toward Izzy because of the kick return and this and that. I kind of felt like that was the Packers testing him out in that role to see, hey, is there extra value there or not? Almost like, and I have no inside information to think this, but it's almost like, okay, it feels like the Packers know Amar Johnson's the better running back than Izzy, so let's see if we can get some extra added value to carry that second running back on the practice squad. There's also an outside chance that maybe they try to stash Chris Brooks on the practice squad at least for 24 to 48 hours. I don't like that idea because I think he probably would get snatched up, but we'll see. So Turtles in the chat says Jordan Morgan. That's another great one, Turtles. Obviously Jordan Morgan battling for that left tackle spot. Unfortunately, we haven't got to see Jordan Morgan with the rest of the ones on the offensive line because Aaron Banks has been a little bit jacked up. So the most recent place for Jordan Morgan has been at left guard, right? So if Aaron Banks is out, it feels like Jordan Morgan is going to be the left guard. So I think all signs are pointing towards Rasheed Walker being your left tackle this year. They've gotten a really good look at Jordan Morgan, and he'll probably be the left tackle of the future if they decide to move on from Rasheed Walker next year. I like Jordan Morgan, the thought of Jordan Morgan playing left guard as opposed to right guard. He seemed really, really comfortable playing left tackle in preseason. I know some people are saying, well, it's preseason, it doesn't matter this and that. He's going against backups. He did not. The 2 games that he played left tackle, he being Jordan Morgan, were against number one defenses, the number one defensive players on the depth chart for those respective teams. So Jordan Morgan looks a lot more comfortable kick stepping left and kind of staying patient right, as opposed to the opposite. So for me, I would much rather see him at left guard than right guard. But if Aaron Banks is a true left guard, then and he's healthy for week 1, obviously Jordan Morgan's going to play right guard if they decide to go with Rasheed Walker at left tackle. That's another great one, though, Turtles. I'll be keeping an eye out for Jordan Morgan as well. King Tron in the chat says, I want to see Matthew Golden get a touchdown today, Clay. Man, the original plan was to play the starters, right? And obviously Jordan's not going to play, and there's going to be several other starters who are banged up that are not going to play. I imagine anyone who's healthy that are number ones are going to start today. If that's the case, imagine a Malik Willis to Matthew Golden for about 55 yards and Matthew Golden's first Lambeau leap in a game, not just, obviously family night. How cool would that be? That you talk about taking the top off that place with the energy. If Matthew Golden somehow, some way gets into the end zone today. Now, I don't want to see us trying to make that happen into the third quarter, right? And you guys know I was pretty vocal about this earlier in the week. If the starters are healthy, whatever starters are healthy, get them out there. Play them for a quarter. Like, we got to stop with this being scared stuff. Oh, they might get hurt. They might not get this. Listen, you notice we've been very, very careful with that this year, and guys have still gotten hurt. So what are we even doing here, right? I say play the starters a quarter and then get the tape you need for the bottom of the roster position battles. But don't want to see them out there after the first quarter, though. Get them in a good rhythm, get them a couple drives in them, and then get them off the field, and let's keep this thing moving for sure. And Emilio, you just jump in when you're ready, buddy. I think we got him about to hop in here. AFM in the chat says Bo Melton. There you go, Bo Melton in the corner. That's another great one, AFM. That would be that's going to be really, really exciting to see how he plays today and how quick they pull him off the field, or maybe how long they leave him on the field, I should say, is another thing, right? Like they may let him play well into the third or fourth quarter to get a little bit better sample size of what he can do at cornerback, and maybe he can climb up that depth chart a little bit. Maybe he would distance himself from Kalen King just a touch in terms of who would go in next behind Carrington Valentine if you got down to the fifth spot on your depth chart, if guys are banged up, that type of thing. So we got Emilio joining us now. Emilio, what do you think, man? Is there a specific player that you're looking forward to seeing today in this preseason matchup, man?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. AFAM's got me, there with Bo Melton. I do love that. I'm also excited to see Hopper. I want to see him, kind of take that next step as well. He's been really showing it this year. But let's see what else, let's see what else we can have with him, see if he can't be that third, fourth guy that we can lean on. And, being a third-round pick, let's really see what he can do out there. And I think that he's going to show that. But Bo is definitely a good one. KT Oladapo, always just want to see what he's doing out there, see how he's feeling. He's always kind of coaching people around. I feel like he knows the defense real well. But just really most of my worries on the defense. I think the offense is going to kind of hammer itself out. Besides the O-line, right? Just see some reps from guys like Monk and Morgan, stuff like that.
Yeah. And Bill Huber tweeted this out earlier today. So you got or just a few minutes ago, I should say, you've got Xavier McKinney out there working, right? Getting a couple reps in. Obviously drops the ball here, not a good look. But notice his sleeves, Emilio. MD1 is talking about the wind whipping around down there. It looks like it's going to be a windy day at Lambeau. That's what you want to see, though. Like I was saying here before you hopped on, get some of these young guys out there and see how they're going to handle that swirling wind in Lambeau, right? Because that you'd rather find out today than find out, obviously, in a game that actually counts,
Yep, absolutely. And that's where maybe we don't go for it on fourth down, with 3 yards to go from the 30 or whatever. Let's just get a 40, 50 yarder for McManus, whoever we want to see in the bowl. Let's get another rep in there for them just to kind of get those game-like situations. But yeah, that's windy day is nice though. The breeze is going to cut everything down. I think, we don't have to worry about cramping or anything like that unless, Tim and Jacob forget to have their bananas. But if besides that, that'd be my only cramp worry for the day. I think we're going to have a good one.
Yeah. I think you'll get excited about this comment from Joseph. He says, Joseph Ryle says, I want to see Heath ball out and secure that final wide receiver spot, man. I would be totally on board with that. Obviously, he's battling McCole Hardman for what could potentially be the final spot, although with the receiver room pretty banged up, they both may make the initial 53 if you start a couple guys on the IR other than Christian Watson as well. Right. What do you think about Heath's opportunity?
No block, no rock.
What do you think about his chances of making the roster here, man?
I mean, he's been one of the most sure-handed guys we've had at wide receiver when he gets his opportunities. He's had a couple drops here early in the preseason, but he's such a dog. He's not afraid to stick his head in there. He'll dig out a corner safety. He'll go in there, chip a linebacker. I I think that he can make it. It's just you're looking at it like McCole Hardman's got that return ability. That's kind of not what Heath does. But if you ask Heath to go down there and be a flyer on special teams, I mean, sign the man right up. You want him to go down in there and blow somebody up on kickoff. I'm sure he's more than willing to stick his nose in there. So that's where you kind of luck out with some of those guys with that kind of mentality on offense.
Professor Cake says, if Matthew Golden is playing, he is my most must-watch player. We were talking about this as you hopped in. How cool would it be to get Matthew Golden a quick first quarter touchdown, let him do a Lambeau leap, get him off the field? That'd be awesome.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, I'll take it preseason, regular season. Let's just get it. Let's get his hands warmed up. Let's see what he can do. But from that tape of him burning some of those corners, his game speed, I think, is different from what we've had with him just being a short, looks like a more compact version of Christian, but he doesn't have that kind of long stride. It's just, man, he is fast, he's quick, he's sharp, he can break, he can cut it down real fast. I like his comeback routes. I like all that, his dig routes. So yeah, let's see some tape. We'll have some time to cut it up too next 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. King Tron asked the starters are playing right. That's the last I heard. That was Matt LaFleur's plan for this final preseason game. Is that what you're hearing too, Emilio? Have you heard anything otherwise?
Not from. I mean, we had talked about that before, right? Let's get them on Lambeau first game. We're away the second game. Let's get them back on Lambeau the third game. Going into 2 games at home. So we need to, kind of get used to the footing. Everybody needs to get used to getting ready for the game. So, and with the 2 weeks off, why would Matt not have those starters dress if you had them dress in the first preseason game to get them into the headspace of, okay, we got games. This is how you're going to prep for the week and all that. So, I mean, that was the other thing was DJ and Buck were talking. It's like you have what you need to do, get ready for the game day, right? Depending on the time. If it's a late game, you got to kill time all day. If it's a midday game, all right, you can get up at a decent time. You get your coffee and you get over to the facilities. Early morning, you got to get up. But what are you doing to prepare for the week? How are you approaching that? Even with, practices, what are you watching game film Monday, Tuesday? What are we doing with all that? So I think Matt's trying to get him back into that routine before, because you're going to have 2 weeks off here. So you're going to need to kind of remind them, hey, we got to be ready to go at home here against the Lions. That's a real opponent. This is a real opponent right now.
Get ready to go.
Exactly.
King Tron says, okay, we already hit that one. There was somebody else here in the chat. I have one I wanted to hit. Here you go. Holmes MD1. I want to see how Stack and Brinson play. I was breaking it down, an article, and a lot of the information came from an article from Bill Huber earlier today. Defensive tackle 3 for 2, and he put question mark. Kobe Wooden, Warren Brinson, Nazir Stackhouse. Let's say you can only keep 2 of those 3. Again, Kobe Wooden, Warren Brinson, Nazir Stackhouse. His information was locks are Kenny Clark, Devontae White, Carl Brooks. I agree with that. Wooden, strong second half of camp, first team reps, brings experience. Brinson leads the team in preseason pressures. I didn't realize that. Pretty cool. Packers favor draft picks, right? Stackhouse, strong camp, adds beef for the run defense. Advantage, he says none. Injuries elsewhere may allow room for all 6 defensive tackles despite potential overkill at the position. So I felt like Stackhouse, and I talked about this earlier today when I did the morning stream, I felt like Stackhouse started off strong this year, right? He had a really strong, fast start, and he's kind of dwindled off a little bit. I'm going to be completely honest. Watching his game tape, strictly game tape, wasn't that impressive to me. There was a couple times he busted into the backfield, but overall, I feel like Brinson's tape has been better than all 3. But I want to get your take on it because Kobe Wooden, man, there's many people, including the coaches, felt like he had a strong showing at that first preseason game. What do you think, man? If you could only keep 2 of those 3, Wooden, Brinson, or Stackhouse, who would your 2 be?
I think you might be right. Beginning of the offseason, I would have been, hey, Wooden has been struggling a little bit. And I even said, I think he was the bubble guy. I think Wooden is not the bubble guy now, and you're now you're deciding between your draft pick or the the UDFA, and I'm gonna kind of probably have to lean to Brinson. I think he's more solidified in that defense right now. What Hafley's asking him to do, like you said, Stackhouse did get in the backfield a couple times, but other plays where you were kind of out of position or you're getting pushed back and kind of handled. I think that. I think the Packers would probably lean on the draft pick to make that roster. And then if you can just hopefully get Stackhouse, because, they're going to have to sign him another team's going to have to run him down and sign him to make that happen. I think you might be able to wiggle him on. I would probably go with Brinson at the moment. Depends on what happens today.
I like it. You guys, we had a bunch of people jump in a few minutes ago. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Thank you for making us a part of your pregame festivities. Also, click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live later on this afternoon for the post-game show, giving you all the details of what happened in the final preseason game. Ron Sample says, I'd like to see King make the team. I completely agree, Ron. Kalen King is a guy that we talked about. And it's funny, I heard someone talk. Can't remember what podcast it was, what live stream it was, but someone had mentioned, to the best of my knowledge, we were the only ones that were consistently talking about Kalen King was considered the top corner in the draft the year before his final year in college, right? Going into that final year. And I heard somebody else say it on the air. It might have been Homer on the Homer Hour. I can't remember, but it's like, dude, this dude, he's had a good camp, right? We've seen him flash at family night. We've seen him flash in the preseason. What if he emerges? He's liable to pass Carrington Valentine up on the depth chart if he continues to improve. And that's really exciting because he plays a physical brand of football. There's no doubt about it. I feel like he's better fit for the slot. So maybe that's your backup slot defender type thing. So you don't have to kick Nate Hobbs inside when he's healthy for week one. But what do you think about Kalen King's chances of making the roster?
He's been showing up. I think he just needs to kind of keep his head down and keep working. We've asked him to do a little bit of what he wasn't used to. And, we've been asking him to play the slot where he really hadn't played that a lot in college. And I think that, if he can, make a name for himself, we're not 100% sold on all of our corners. I think that you could possibly say, hey, King's going to be a good rotational guy in the back end there. I think that's a possibility. But right now, I need to see it in the game. I need to see you, perform, lock it down. Because right now, you're still sort of leaning towards Bo, with just his ability to play special teams and be a converted wide receiver if we needed him to, sort of thing. So I hope he does make the team, but I kind of need to see it.
Yeah, Bill Huber, if I understood correctly in the article he wrote earlier today, said Bo Melton has pretty much secured his spot. He's gone ahead and moved Bo off the bubble. So he's saying of these four corners, one of them, maybe two, but let's say there's one, right?
Okay.
Just so we can kind of really hammer it down. Only one of these cornerbacks will make the team, all right? Let's just assume that's the case. Kalen King, Kamal Hadden, Micah Robinson, or Corey Ballantyne. To me, it's not even close. It's got to be Kalen King, right? Or do you see it different? Do you think maybe Ballantyne having a little more NFL experience? Do you think it's Micah Robinson, who obviously is a seventh-round pick? You got him on a 4-year deal, albeit if you do move him to the practice squad, that's going to reset to a 3 next year, which you pretty much don't even lose a year off of that contract if he resets to a futures contract.
No, that's fair. Breaking it down to 1 there, I think you're right. Ballantyne, he had been on the roster, but he was also available. So I think that if you needed to go pick him up later on, you could, or if he does, make it to the practice squad kind of thing. Micah would be in that 7th rounder. If we're going to move on from, Brinson, are you going to move on from another 7th rounder? I think you'd probably move on from Micah before you move on from, one of your D lineman draft picks. So I would say, Micah to practice squad. It would be down to Kalen King and Hadden. And I think you're right. I just don't think we've seen enough from Hadden to make that name, or to make his argument for it. So I would lean towards King making that roster if we're going to have to break it down to 1.
Got it. All right, let's move it along here. What else we got in the chat? We got Mike, Superfan says, I'll also be watching Lasita Smith. He's looked good to me in the preseason games. I haven't really focused on him much, Mike. If we looked at the depth chart from our lads, and again, this doesn't mean this is how the Packers see the depth chart, but our lads does a pretty darn good job with this. They've got Lasita Smith. Where do they have him at? They've got him 4th string center. Does he pop up anywhere else on the depth chart? I don't see anywhere else that he's actually popped up here. So if we were to break it down, let's start with 9. Let's say we carry 9 offensive linemen, Amelia. We got Rasheed Walker, right? Aaron Banks, Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan, Zach Tom, Jordan Morgan. Those are all locks to me, right? Mm-hmm. Anthony Belton's a lock, 7. Okay. So you've got room for 2 more. John
Williams is going to be on IR with his back, so he's clear.
So what it comes down to is you've got at least 2 more spots you've got to fill. And for those 2 spots, it's Donovan Jennings, Jacob Monk, Brant Banks, Tyler Cooper, Trey Hill, J.J. Lepe, Kadeem Telford, and Lasita Smith. Who would be your two there? And I feel like Donovan Jennings and Jacob Monk have had horrible camps. I could be wrong, but that's just the vibe I get. I kind of feel like we're inching toward Kadeem Telford making the 53. If that were the case, then you got at least room for one more. So the question is, can Lasita Smith do enough to leapfrog the Tyler Coopers, the Trey Hills, the Jacob Monks, and the Donovan Jennings? I personally don't see it, but he's definitely primed for the practice squad, I believe. But what do you think about that in terms of the offensive line, the top 9 there?
Telford would have been the move for me as well. And then, you're kind of putting that down to Monk, Jennings, and, Lasitas. And I mean, Trey Hill, I think he's kind of had a little tough go at it. Brant Banks is not a bad idea either. I mean, he's kind of been showing up. He's been he's been doing it out there, but you're right. I don't see Lasita Smith making it on the 53, but a practice squad guy for sure. I really do think it's probably going to be Kadeem Telford and Monk would be my thought. Then Donovan Jennings probably right after that. But tough losing my boy Glover, Clay.
We always joked about it, right? Not losing it, not the injury, but we just always joked about Glover. I tell you, I would feel a lot better about Glover than the situation that we're in right there. You go right there, than we're in right now. Blake B says here in the chat, let's see a clean game from Belton. That would be absolutely awesome. And here's the thing about Anthony Belton. People either love him or they hate him. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this guy made it sound like Jordan Morgan has not played good in the preseason, but Anthony Belton's played great. And then the guy, Brent, well, he had 5 penalties. I know, but if you remove the penalties, he's played great. I agree with that assessment. But to sit here and kid yourself into thinking that Anthony Belton's played better than Jordan Morgan has been damn good this preseason. So with that being said, to find the silver lining in a comment that I disagreed with, it's like, if he's seen something on tape with Belton to suggest he's had a better preseason / camp than Morgan, then, hey, we're in good shape. Clean up the penalties. Belton, just simply blocking, I felt like he's played good. If you remove all the penalties, all of them, right, we're looking up going, damn, Anthony Belton looks the part. That's what everybody, I guarantee you, would be saying. But the problem is he did have the penalties, and albeit 5 in one half of football until Rasheed Walker had to give him a snack. What was that he gave him again?
Clementine.
There you go. So, what do you think about Belton, man? Obviously, he's going to make the roster. Do you think he plays a significant role this year on the offensive line? Because I'm to the point where you got these injuries. I mean, Elton Jenkins had a back. Aaron Banks still dealing with the back issue, right? Mm-hmm. You had Rasheed Walker, who was dealing with a couple of different injuries if they were legit, right? If that's the case, you're going to see Belton on the field. There's no doubt.
Yeah. I think I almost would say there's probably a good chance he starts maybe 3 games for us with injuries and everything like that. You never know what's going to happen on the O-line. That's where our depth ran into a problem last year. And that's where I think they tried to fix it. But again, we're still running into a little bit of, a depth issue with them getting hurt and stuff. So we even might have somebody coming in after cutdowns, right? They might have their eye on a couple linemen that are on their way out on some other teams. They're going to bring them in, and there's still going to be a battle. Or you have a practice squad guy that you're going to bring up. But I do like Belton. He is he's playing a little loose right now. I think he needs to tighten some stuff up. But his effort out there, the way he can just road grade is perfect. I wouldn't be mad if he had to start a couple games and maybe you slide some help over that way. You bring him in at guard or whatever. You got a guy next to him on either side, and you can still work with it. But running behind him. So let me get a 26. Let me get a 26 ISO or a 26 duo or something right behind him, and let's see what they got.
Can we get just one play where you tell Belton, hey, listen, 71, go out there and just slaughter that person.
Yep. I want you to road grade the first dude and see if you can't get up to the second level.
Right. Carry him up to the second guy and just smack them together when you get there. You know what I mean? Mike in the chat says Belton will be very good, like what I've seen. Maybe not right away. Morgan has been excellent. Completely agree with that, Mike. Completely agree. Holmes MD1 says Belton has not had a better camp than Morgan. I'm glad I wasn't the only. When I heard that on that pod, I was like, "What are you watching? How do you like?" Morgan is not giving up a pressure, a hurry, a sack. He's not giving up anything. You know what I mean? And if you're saying he hasn't looked good in the run game, I wouldn't say he hasn't looked good. I mean, it wasn't like jump off the tape type stuff, but we know he's a true pass blocker. That's what he is. That's what he's always been. He's got great footwork. He's smooth. He doesn't panic. Belton, a little bit of the opposite. He panics a little bit in pass pro, but boy, when it comes to run blocking, you know what I mean? I think we're going to be running right.
Panics a little bit, but still has pretty decent footwork coming out being a left tackle. And that's what they're trying to do. Give me the footwork of a left tackle, the size of a guard, and turn them into whatever you can on this offensive line. Get the best 5, right? They always talk about it. So man, Belton out there, Morgan out there. I'm glad that we've, when we were all talking, let's get a corner in the first, let's, this and that, man, what would happen if we didn't pull the draft picks we have in the first 2 rounds the past 2 years, right? We wouldn't have a backup. And then what would we be talking about? Where would our O-line even be at this moment?
Right. Holmes MD1 says, Clay, they don't watch tape. That's why. Man, listen, that sounds like a rude comment, Holmes, and I try to steer clear of that stuff as much as I can, but boy, oh boy, do I agree with you. Sometimes it's just like, I think the part that bothers me the most is when people just regurgitate what other people say. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, I heard 2 people say this. I'm just going to repeat that as if that's what I saw too, knowing damn well there's none of that on the tape. It's just simply they want to have an opinion and they, just kind of piggyback off others. So really,
Saw Holmes was at Culver's there too earlier. I might be diving into that, Clay. It's a good day on Packers football, man. Good day to get some Culver's.
We got some pizza. Have you ever had Marco's pizza?
Marco's? I've had it before. I've had it once or twice, yeah.
We have one in town. We've had one here as long as I've lived in the Tri-City area, and we tried it. Mandy was like, "Let's try this Marco's." And I thought it was all right. Wasn't too bad. We got some wings too. Threw them under the broiler. Got them extra crispy.
Ooh, there you go. That's key. You get a little crunch on the outside, but still got the sauced up. Yeah.
Got to. So obviously it's no kind of authentic pizza, right? It's New York slice. But, so it was decent. It wasn't too bad. So anyway, I mentioned that because that's what I had earlier. So. Probably heat those wings back up here.
I might just go Rover and just bring the phone, put the game on the lap, go right through the drive-through, and then head right back home. Give me a little mixer.
Nothing wrong with that, man. What do you get in that mixer? That's what I need to know.
The concrete, the Oreo concrete mixer for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm a Reese's guy, man. Give me that Reese's mixed up. Love it. All right, moving along here. I just want to take a glance in the chat. Anything else? Let's see what Not So Cool said. Would Rasheed Walker play at left guard? It's a great question. I don't think so, Emilio. I don't know how you feel, man, but what's crazy is he's big, he's physical, right? We know he's a physical player. We've seen him throw people out the club. We've seen him in college maul people. I can't think of one clip. Maybe you guys have seen it, but I can't think of one clip where you see Rasheed Walker attacking the run game and pancake somebody and actually just, road grade like you were saying. You already see it from Anthony Belton,
right?
2 preseason games in. But Rasheed, you just never seen that. Now, it could be that we don't ask him to do that as much at left tackle. That could be the case. But I don't know, man. I don't see him as a left guard, but I have a hard time believing he can't do it. It's just, if believing is if seeing is believing, I can't subscribe to it right now.
Whiskey 61 said if Mekhi Becton can, Yeah, that's true, but I would see Rasheed as a flip to right tackle before he would play left guard kind of guy. I feel like he's more of a swing tackle than a, 4-position sort of guy. Like whereas Jordan Morgan's a 4-position kind of guy, we can use him left tackle, left guard, right tackle sort of thing. I just see Rasheed as a flip tackle.
Got it. And Matt Schnaben just put a tweet out, says plenty of Packer starters in uniform during pregame. Jordan Love, as expected, is not, so no surprise there. But I think we will see some starters, man. Let's get some momentum going. You know what I mean? Get a little momentum created heading into this little break.
And starters with Malik, right? Let's get Malik a little look at, hey, this is what it's like running routes with him. Timing. Let's get the backs out there. I mean, I feel like Josh Jacobs isn't going to get too many carries. If 1 or 2, get a couple thuds, and then, all right, let's get him out of there and run these backs, because I feel like there's still more to see out of there. We know what's coming with Jacobs, and you don't have Jordan Love in there. So get him behind the O-line for a little bit and then get him out of there.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure, man. And that's the thing too. Like you can get a good look at these receivers, right? And how you want to round this roster out with Malik running the offense. Once you get Taylor Elgersma or Sean Clifford in there, I mean, you've seen we won that game last week. Matt broke out the zone read, right? We ran a read option to win to score the winning touchdown.
Right.
That play right there, we will use it this year. I guarantee you, especially if Jordan's knee is completely healthy and everything. However, you don't go out in the preseason run a lot of zone read to see what you got on the team. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want these guys running route combinations. You want them you want to know within the passing game, hey, do they know what to do in terms of choice routes? What's the defense showing, right? And when it comes to the running game, what are you trying to determine there? I think you're trying to see how many of these offensive linemen can effectively run duo and get to that second level, right? And dig those backers out, that type of thing. So, yeah. Kind of how I said. Oh, sorry, man. Pull that back up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just to Joseph's point, I think we would be trading Sheed normally, but the poo-poo platter depth is going to prevent it at O-line. And that's what I was going to ask you was, are we glad that we didn't jump on moving Sheed for a player or moving, X, Y, and Z, getting rid of Sheed for a pick and not looking at it now?
Yeah, and absolutely we're glad that we didn't, right? And, that's why I was hesitant on it talking early on. Because it's like –
because it got loud there for a minute. It got really loud.
Oh, yeah, real loud. I rewound back to Philly, and you can watch that post-game show we did. One of the first things I said on that show, and I continued to pound the table on it the entire offseason was, guys, we got to get some more depth at offensive line. We got to. And I heard people talking the other day saying, well, this offensive line isn't deep at all. And I'm going, if they're healthy, they are. If you're saying the current state of them isn't, then I agree with you. But like they were saying, we've really only got 6 guys. And I'm going, Rasheed Walker, right? Let's count it off. Rasheed Walker, Aaron Banks, Elton Jenkins, Jordan Morgan, Anthony Belton, Sean Ryan, not Anthony Belton, Zach Tom, Sean Ryan, Anthony Belton. There's 7 right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so to me, you're 7 deep if everybody's healthy. The problem is, like you said, you got a couple guys banged up and you're literally two sprained ankles away from going, all right, boys, we're right back to the Philly game. So
and looking at where we are now, it's like, okay, what happens if Rasheed does leave next year? Like we're going into this draft next year. We might be taking another tackle. I mean, I feel like that could be something that is 100% on the table. Yeah, we're going to need cornerback help, but I mean, you just paid Jordan Love all that money. How many times we talk about building that wall in front of him so that he doesn't get, we don't want him to get mauled. We don't want Jacobs to get mauled. I want holes and I want passing lanes. So that's we're going to have to keep an eye on that throughout the year. Yeah.
And it looks like Matt Schnaubman commented on his own tweet there and said Elton Jenkins also not in uniform. So Big E is not playing today. So that means you're probably going to have Sean Ryan playing center. So we're already down to the backup center. And now you really got to take that into consideration when you're trying to grade out other players on this roster. You know what I'm saying? So you got to really put that in perspective. So that sucks. Somebody commented on that and said, can't wait for week 1 Rust Fest 2025. It's so true, man. That'll be the conversation if they come out and struggle is why sitting healthy guys, right?
Right here. Cheddar Bug, why are we always surprised when the Packers take multiple O-linemen in the draft? Completely true. Joseph here, based on how Monk and Jennings have looked, this was a very unfortunate year for Glover to go down. I'm telling you, I was trying to say it from the beginning. And Brambo, yeah, I'd be happy taking O-line every year. I feel like, that's it. All 3 of those kind of like, we don't, we think that we need skill guys, we need players, we need this, we need that. We probably do need to take 2 O-linemen every year, the way that they get hurt, the way you need to rotate them, the way you need to find a gem, you need to find some dogs. And that's where it's like, okay, John Williams, I'd love to get him out there. He's got to go through the back thing. He's going to get on IR. Let's get him back. Hopefully he's all right. But yeah, you just need bodies there. It's a tough physical game.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. As you see the guys, Matthew Golden coming out of the tunnel at Lambeau. Let's take a peek at that wet. Oh yeah, we got a little blue sky back there.
That's nice.
A little partly cloudy look at Lambert Field. Really excited about it, man. God, it's going to be a good day, dude. Can't wait to get to the post-game show and talk about it.
I love that Bo was with him too, right? Bo's with the skill guys on offense. It's like, all right, yeah. He is part of this, right? I mean, yeah, he plays defense, but
and Rob Domofsky tweeted out, most of the Packers' healthy offensive skill position players are in uniform and taking part in warmups. Josh Jacobs, Romeo Doubs, Matthew Golden, all the tight ends, etc. Jordan Love is throwing, but not in uniform. So there's a little update on that. So it sounds like Elton Jenkins maybe was a specific scratch too. You know what I mean? The fact that you got so many starters going out there, I don't know, but yeah, really, that's going to be good too to see Romeo Doubs, Matthew Golden, and Jaden. Well, Jaden Reed ain't going to be on the field, so who's going to be your slot guy, right? And it has been the top three here lately. Has been McCole Hardman as that third guy.
Yeah,
so that's probably what you'll get. Which I don't have a problem with that because that's going to give you all the information you need to make an educated decision on whether or not McCole Hardman should make this 53 as well. You know.
Two questions in here, Clay. Fishy thinks, should Bo play wide receiver week 1?
No, when you look at the receiver, well, let me answer it this way, or I got to kind of answer the question with the question: who's healthy, right?
Yeah.
Let's project the week 1. Who are your starting wide receivers, right?
That's what I was going to say.
I think there's a chance that we see Bo at wide receiver at some point this season. They'll kick him over there, and that's kind of exciting, right? Because it does add some versatility. And that's the other thing. It might be a reason why you only carry 5 receivers instead of 6, is because you got Bo making the team at corner. And he can jump right over and run a little receiver for you if you get in trouble as well. I don't know. What do you think about that, Emilio?
No, I think that's – I don't think it'll be week 1, but you're right. I think he's going to get some reps there. He already knows the offense. Unless they threw in some crazy plays that Matt needs to tell him, at least he knows what he's doing on the concepts of X, Y, and Z. He's been just picking up the defense. A smart guy. He knows where he's got to be. I think especially because he's not going to be playing 1,000 snaps on defense. So if you need a guy, if they're gassed, if they've already ran all their routes, maybe even today, if you get Bo in the third quarter playing a couple offensive snaps at wide receiver, Packers Twitter is going to go crazy and say he's the next, Travis Hunter. But and I think Matt just to make sure, hey, I don't want you to get rusty on the offensive side, Bo. Let's get a couple reps. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Absolutely.
King Tron in the chat here said, is Savion playing, guys?
Let's see if we can comb through Rob Domofsky's tweet here and find out real quick. So most of the Packers' healthy skill position players, we read that tweet. Here's Jordan Love. Let's take a quick look at Jordan. Actually, let's come back. Everybody's asking, what about Wicks, Reed? I have seen nothing on Savion so far.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So I'm not 100% sure if he's going to play or not. So you're seeing Jordan right here throwing, and he was supposed to have the stitches taken out today. So they're obviously going to keep it wrapped up regardless. So hopefully everything went good there. I'm looking forward to seeing or hearing the latest news on that. You see Tucker Kraft out there, right? There's Romes. There's Matthew Golden. So Taylor Elgersman obviously throwing passes there. You see Chris Brooks over there in the back. There's Ben Sims. So, nothing on Savion yet. I haven't seen any evidence anyway that Savion is going to be playing. So let me go ahead and hit refresh on this Packers news stream here and see if there's any other information coming out. It's starting to fly through now. For what it's worth, first run through warm-ups had Walker at left tackle, Morgan left guard, Sean Ryan center, Donovan Jennings is playing right guard.
There we go.
Tom at right tackle. So we're going to get a good look at Jennings at right guard today, and maybe we'll get some questions there as well. Matt Schneidman pretty much confirmed that Donovan Jennings getting the start at right guard today. How do you feel about Jordan be ready for week 1, Emilio? The fact they get the stitches out today, we've got now 14 days after today, I believe.
He'll be good to go. He'll be good to go. Maybe still have some tape on it just to solidify it, get through. But he'll be ready to roll. I'm not worried about it.
Good deal, man.
King Tron, member for 8 months. Appreciate you, King. Savion playing, double checking, but he said like and sub for the boys. Absolutely. I see nothing on Savion right now. The only thing I saw is at the very end of this clip. Is that an 84 that runs in at the bottom?
Oh, no. We're going to do a chalk talk real quick.
Is that what it is, Clay? I mean, I need a pause with a quarter second left. Right here. What number is that?
I don't see the dreads, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yep.
I see what you're saying, though. It does kind of look like an 84. Look at this is how we know. That says 84.
That's close. That's super close.
Bro, that says 84, does it not?
Can we zoom in? Can we enhance AI?
Oh,
come on.
Hold on, man. Let me do this, though. I'm going to give you a screenshot.
Maybe just clip it a little bit further. Does he turn a little bit more?
That's 84,
That's
bro.
an 84.
Now, is anybody else wearing 84 in camp? Because sometimes they got double numbers.
Okay, that's fair.
Right?
Hey, Savion's 83.
Let me see here.
Dang.
Oh, yeah. What are we doing? Yeah.
Oh, it's Cornelius. Oh, man. I saw the 8. Okay, that's on me. I'm sorry. I saw the 8.
Oh, good. You heard me. I'm like, I don't see dreads. You know,
Yeah.
I'm looking for. He's got the cleanest, bro. His dreads with that red highlight he used to have in it. Oh my god, love it, dude. I'd grow it out if my head didn't look like a pumpkin. You know what I'm saying? So Sean Ryan is clearly the backup center, says Zach Cruz, but you'd think you'd want him getting reps at his most likely week 1 position. So I don't know, man. You better get whoever the backup center is, Emilio. You better get them as many reps as humanly possible, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's such an important position, and that's really the part that kind of fell apart. As much as Josh Myers underperformed last year, the reality is that dude, when he went down and we had to move Elton to center, boy oh boy. No, Elton left the game, right? Elton left the game. Myers goes out. We move Sean Ryan to center, and now we had who did we have at left guard? I'm trying to remember, Emilio. Maybe you can remember who we had at left guard against Philadelphia Eagles in that final playoff game.
My boy, Travis Glover.
It was bad though, right? It
was rough. I mean, you're asking him to play left guard. I've been asking him to play left guard all year against Jalen Carter. Come on. Yeah, and then you got Kadeem Telford. Didn't he go in right after him at guard? So
I think everybody went there and got their ass kicked. You know, it was just whoever they rolled through the turnstile. They just that was a rough look for sure. We got a bunch of people in here. Appreciate y'all making us part of your pregame here. If you would, please do us a favor. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Make sure you click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live. We will be live for a post-game show immediately following Packers Seahawks this evening. So any other chats you want to hit on, Emilio? I'm going to comb back through. I'm just hitting refresh like crazy.
Yeah, right. Malik Day to shine. Yeah, let's get him a quarter and a half. I just want him to get some reps. That's it. I mean, I know what he can do. We already know that he carries himself right. He approaches everything the right way. He's Jordan's boy. It's not like, it's not Malik trying to take anything. Malik knows where he's at. And, let me just go out there and prove it for myself and, for everyone watching that I can do this. I can, move forward if another team wants me, moving into the future. But again, I'm still not opposed to that little 2-year bridge deal, maybe 10 million, something like that. And give him 18 million, 10 guaranteed, and we'll kind of work something out. Just having a backup that's competent and knows what's going on is going to be crazy important going into the future.
Yeah, let me ask you about linebacker real quick, unless you got another question or comment you want to hit on. Is there anything else? Oh, here we go, Tron. Let's hit this one real quick. Tron with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. He says, I really need to see Jay Reed on this field and soon. Yeah, here's the thing about Jaden Reed. This is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but, I'm just being honest. I'm not saying I'm correct, but he's probably the least of my worries, Tron. Now, if you're saying from a selfish standpoint, I want to see 11 out there cooking people, absolutely. I don't understand the hate he got last year, man. I really don't. I want to see him on the field sooner rather than later. And the closer we get to week 1 without seeing him, Emilio, I do get a little bit nervous. Like, is that injury a little worse than we previously thought could be the case? But appreciate the super chat there, Tron. I agree with you though. I want to see Reed on the field and want to see him out there healthy. I think he is a huge, huge part of this offense, because if he's not ready to go, Lord forbid this be the case. Well, let's say he had to start on IR. Who's your slot? Who's running slot for you? You're missing Christian, you're missing Jaden Reed, your 2 best receivers, in my opinion. I know some think that Romeo is better than both, or maybe better than one. I personally think Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, when they're both on the field at the same time, with Watson stretching the field out of the Z and Reed working underneath, whether you're running your slot crosses, your dagger concepts, whatever they may be, those are the 2 guys that make this offense go. With that being said, man, if he was not ready week 1, who would you put at slot, Emilio? Who would be your slot guy? Would it be Golden? Would you just say, hey, kick over? Because I don't know. We haven't seen him at slot in camp, I'm not saying he can't run the routes that it takes to run slot, but, man, when you're playing F, which is essentially LaFleur's slot, boy, the choice routes get really, really, really intense. They get difficult to understand on the go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a tough one. If you're looking at the offense there, who do we want to play that slot? It would probably have to be Tay. Would be really
would have to be, yes.
But with him being a little banged up too, that's where you run into the problem of, honestly, if that's the case, if we're 2-3, slot guys down, you might lean on Golden on a couple of plays. I would almost think that he kind of leans into 12 a little bit more. You get Tucker and Musgrave out there. You can work your 2 outside receivers, flex Musgrave into the slot if you want that 13, if you want that look. But no, it's going to be kind of tough. And Kingtron, he did follow it up saying, he's not worried at all about it. He selfishly want to see the Lightning on the field.
I got you. Yeah, no, I'm with you there, Tron. Completely with you, man. He's so much fun to watch. He plays the game the right way. The only aspect of his game that, if I were to say this is his weak spot, it's definitely run blocking. But I mean, he's a smaller stature slot corner that he's not paid to run block. Although he'll try, he'll do his best. Don't get me wrong. He's not one of those guys you watch the tape and go, boy, he doesn't want to block.
Yeah.
It's just something he's not good at. Everybody's got strengths and weaknesses for sure. But yeah, I want to see him on the field sooner rather than later as well. No doubt about that. Let me ask you about linebacker real quick. I think we got that super chat, so we're good there. Isaiah Simmons and Christian Welch. All right. If you had to pick one for the final linebacker spot, right? Like, obviously, Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, Isaiah McDuffie, Tyron Hopper, they're locks. They're going to be on the team. Which one would you rather play here? Would you rather keep on the 53-man roster? Would it be Isaiah Simmons or Christian Welch? How do you see that linebacker room there? I talked about it earlier today. I know my answer, but I want to know what yours is.
Yeah, that's tough. I would want to say Simmons, but man, he just hasn't. I mean, he's showing effort, but it seems like it's a little, out of time, misplaced sort of effort. I think Welch is just more of a heads down kind of grinded kind of guy, knows where he needs to be, knows what he needs to do. Been here, you prove it year in, year out. I would say that, it's got to be, I would say Welch, just because we just took a flyer on Simmons. It's not like we, invested a bunch into him, signed him to a 4-year deal or anything like that. We brought him in, see what he could do, gave him a shot, asking him to do something, different from what everybody else asked him to do. But we thought that it would hopefully be perfect for him and, help him out at only being asked to do one thing. And it just kind of hasn't, ended up that way. So he's had a little bit of rough go at it. Right now, I'm going to say Welch.
Got it. All right.
Where were you? Where were you? Okay.
Welch, yeah. Again, Isaiah Simmons has been running with the ones on special teams on punt and kick coverage, but yeah, for me, it's Welch is good. Welch is good on special teams as well, right? Yeah. I feel like Welch plays better stack backer than Isaiah Simmons, me personally. And
that's kind of that double-edged sword of, is he getting too much? Is he getting all that playing time because they need to see it, or are they getting all that playing time because, hey, I don't want to get the other guy banged up, or do we just want to get him out there, see what he actually can do down the line? And if he doesn't make it happen, you give a guy a whole game and it's just, you can't get enough out of it of beneficial tape and, beneficial things that he's done. Hey, you're kind of up the creek, right, at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Back to the slot question. I think this is a really, really good point here. Holmes MD1 says you could run Muskie in the slot. Luke Musgrave.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, 12 personnel.
It's a great point. I didn't hear you say that. I was probably reading. So
yeah. No, I was saying if we don't have a slot, we could still lean on 12. Have Tucker on the either have Tucker attached or even Musgrave, whatever. Either of them could flex out and still have your Dobbs and Golden on the outside, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. And it didn't even cross my mind, but you cause a mismatch in the defense, you force them to probably go to their base. If you've got technically 12 personnel, but Musgrave's kicked out in the slot, I think he could play the slot for you. He's been around long enough. He better know the choice routes, right? Yeah. He's been here for however many years he's been here now. This is going to be his third year, right?
Yeah, and Tucker.
Yeah. So yeah. That would probably be the answer. Either him or McCole Hardman if Hardman makes the roster.
But you would want to know. You'd want to know what Musgrave has, because coming into that next year, we're going to have to decide if we want to keep him or not. So
yeah, that's it.
You'd want to say, hey, are you going to be able to play a flex slot for us and be a heavy? It would be like big nickel for the offense.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's big, big slot or whatever.
No, that's a great point. And And if he shows, hey, look, I can fill in that role, right? I can be that guy. In the slot if you need me to in a pinch, then maybe his value goes up a little bit. That you go out and offer him an extension. You say, hey, look, how about $5 million per? Kind of like Isaiah Simmons, a blimped up version of Isaiah McDuffie's contract. Let's say, 2 years, $10 million, $5 million guaranteed, where it's really a 1 year, $5 million contract you can get out of after year one. Or maybe you feel comfortable enough that you give him that for 3 to 4 years if he's willing to accept it, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. Trying with the super chat says if 88 stays healthy, breakout year. Hey, Musgrave has had a hell of a camp, Emilio. I don't remember this last year, dude. I don't. I may be wrong, but I don't. I think this is the best training camp he's had since he came in the league. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I would say the same thing. And, getting through some injuries, the dude's tough. He got through the rookie, training camp this year. Now he's gotten through, the off season, gotten through some lifts, gotten through some injuries. I think he's ready to show, that he can do it. It's not like he didn't. I mean, he caught that one. What was that against the Cowboys where he was just wide open? I mean, on the other side of the field, caught it. And yeah, maybe looks a little clunky when he runs. That's fine. I mean, he's a long, lengthy sort of dude. I think that, we just need to get him the ball, get it. He just needs more opportunities to put on tape that, it might not just be those two. I mean, I feel like the only times we've really seen him get the balls like on 2 open deep balls where he's just wide open somehow every time Jordan can spin him the ball. But let's get him a couple more opportunities working across the middle. If he's not afraid to take a lick, if he's got to run a slant, that's my kind of guy. And I don't think he would be the way he played through injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah. Let me take a look over, see if Tim's tweeted anything out. Oh, Tim did. Yeah. Got the guys out.
Working. I saw, Jacob sent us a video in the group chat too.
Nice. All right. So let's get Tim's feed up here live on the show. We got a beard sighting out here, and surprise, surprise, his shirt's actually on, Emilio. How about that?
Way.
Yeah, look at that. So we got Beard, and we got Tim out there, and I think that's Jacob's brother there on the left.
Nice.
So look at that beard. Are you kidding me, dude?
That crew.
Man, clean as a whistle. And Tim put this out here, got us a little footage from warm-ups. Obviously, you see the crowd was filing in. This is probably some time ago. It's almost time for kickoff. Obviously, the crowd is a lot fuller than that now, guys. I promise you.
Ready to go.
A few minutes ago. But look at Sean Clifford up there doing his best Aaron Rodgers impersonation. Is there a better stadium on the face of the planet than that right there, Emilio?
Negative. Nope. Not at all. Every time you walk in there, like I said, like we were talking the other day, first time I walked in, I was just in shock. I think I didn't say anything for like 30 seconds, just taking it all in. The same thing happened when we went down for the draft. Got to sit on the wall, got to do a little Lambeau Leap picture. That was sweet.
Yeah. The thing that got me, and again, my first time, obviously this whole upper deck that you're seeing right there was not even there. That was just open, right? I went in 2003. The thing that got me, don't get me wrong, it was awesome walking out and seeing the field. But as we were walking the concourse and looking through the tunnel going toward our section and seeing little small glimpses of the field and the crowd was just, oh my gosh, like it was just build up, right?
Yeah, because like I'm talking like, right as you walked, you're in the concourse and you're looking through and it's so bright you can't even actually see what's going on out there. And once you break that threshold, man, it's over.
It's like you're staring through the pearly gates of heaven.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was like, dang, that's a little early, but if it's time, I guess it happened here.
Hey, I'd rather it happen here than anywhere else, baby.
Seriously.
King Tron with the super chat. Thank you, Tron. He says, if I'm not wrong, his main weakness is availability. Yeah, with Musgrave. The part that sucks is that's the most important ability. I've said that before, and people have kind of scoffed at me on social media. Availability is the most important ability. And people are like, oh, whatever. I'm like, okay, so you got to play a ball game today. All right. Would you rather have a player of Rob Gronkowski's level or Luke Musgrave's level? Everybody would say Rob Gronkowski, right? Absolutely. I'd take Gronk over Musgrave. Are you smoking crack, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Rob Gronkowski's going to be inactive, though. Which one are you taking? You're taking Musgrave, right?
Absolutely.
So it sounds silly. It's so, it's such a simple comment, but it's so true, man. You got to be available. If you're not available, then, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing, you know what I'm saying? It's just,
appreciate that. Tron. Joseph here, hit that like button, everybody. We got over 400 watching. Appreciate y'all. Go ahead and hit that like, sub, and help out the show. We do have a Seahawks fan here, Clay.
What we got here? What we saying?
Jay Malfair, he says, Seahawks fan, which rookies outside of Golden should I watch for on the Packers side?
Great question. I mean, if you just look at our draft class, you got Matt Golden, first-round pick, Anthony Belton, second-round pick. Savion Williams would be my pick, but I don't think he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Baron Sorrell's not playing. He's hurt as well. He's our fourth-round pick. Colin Oliver's hurt. He's our fifth-round pick. Warren Brinson's the sixth-round pick. Micah Robinson is seventh. And offensive lineman John Williams is obviously out with the back surgery.
You only have like three people you can really watch.
For me, it's probably 71, and I know offensive line isn't a fun person to watch, Malfair, but 71 is going to – you may end up loving him today. He got 5 penalties in the first half last week.
Yeah, right.
But if you appreciate a mauler, and it's early, don't get me wrong, but he seems like the type of offensive line that's just going to – he's looking to take people's heads.
Yeah, he's one where you really can't take your eye off the ball, right? We talk about it all the time. But
Absolutely.
Go ahead and while you're watching this game, it's preseason, doesn't matter. You can go back and watch whatever the Seahawks do on that play, for defense. But if you're watching the Packers on offense, see if you can't key in on where 71 is. Most likely left tackle, right tackle, something like that. But just watch him for a couple plays, just him, and see his footwork, see if he can get off the ball, see if he moves any of your guys around. He really is a dog. And then 91 on defense if we can get Brinson out there to see if he can't get a little push on the inside.
Yeah, and the thing about 71 is once Zach Tom comes out of the game at right tackle, 71 Anthony Belton, the guy we're talking about, should be playing right tackle. Although they may move him around a little bit today too. Yep. So just look.
That's what Chris said too. Malfair Belton on the O line. Dave C said Belton on the O line. That's what it's all about.
Love it. It's either going to be a dumpster fire with penalties or you're going to see him pancake some folks. But,
yeah, right.
I will say this with the Seahawks fan. Thank you for the question. Good luck today, man. Obviously, it's preseason, doesn't really matter, but you guys got a good looking squad. I like your head coach. I usually don't like defensive-minded head coaches, but I really, really do like what y'all have done. I think it was smart giving Sam Darnold an opportunity to duplicate what he did in Minnesota. Obviously, they traded away DK Metcalf. I'm not of the opinion that a dog number one wide receiver like Metcalf is important when the other pieces might not be in place. So I thought it was smart trading him and trying to get some other pieces put in place. So,
Malfair said, so he's like our Gray Zabel. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, just a dog, a mauler. Ron Sanville in the chat.
They were really high on Gray Zabel.
Oh yeah. Yeah, go back and watch the draft videos. Trust me.
Yeah, we were begging for him. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. Ron Sanville says the broadcast just talked to John Eric Sullivan about the linebackers, and he mentioned everyone except Simmons.
Oh, look at Ron Sanville reading the tea leaves. Boy, you know it's preseason, baby. I love it. I love it. Oh, man. Let's see if we can get here. And the Lions did lose just now. It was like 26-7. Not that the score matters, but if you guys want to go back and try to get a peek of what actually happened in that game, that type of
another one to keep an eye out for there, Malfair. Not so cool. Watch out for the Canadian Elgersma QB. Yep, 19, right? So we want to keep your eye out there. See what you like back there.
Yeah. And the other one I would have said is Warren Brinson, who's had a good camp. What's Warren Brinson's number? Is he 91? Am I thinking right?
Yep, 91. Saying the same thing. Watch Brinson. And I love that there's so many. I mean, there's only 4, but everybody knows kind of where they want to, who they want to see. But I love that you got a little Seahawks fan in here trying to get a little dirt, see what's going on. And it's not like they're not. We're in the NFC, right? But you can always kind of take a peek at another team. I'd love to see Gray Zabel out there, right? I mean, what? Let's double check his number. Let me see what he does out there against our D line. See if he gets some push. See if if it was a good pickup for him.
So we've got an inactive list here. I'm gonna see if I can get it to pull up here real quick. I have to delete something. Imagine that, Emilio. We got too many
right here. Just adding to that Ron Sanville chat here. Elijah Gwynn, specifically the Eric Sullivan said we got Johnson and Welch competing.
Really? Wow. So that's Dumas Johnson, right? Am I thinking right?
Yes. Yeah. TGJ. Yep.
Wow. So Yeah, that's kind of unless
And
now.
I liked him. He had a rough game. Was first game, I think, or second game. He had a tough game, but I did like him coming out just as an opportunity sort of guy.
Yeah, unless of course John Eric Sullivan is just kind of like Simmons is going to make the roster, so let's don't even mention him type. Now, he probably didn't put a whole lot of thought in the comment. Let's be honest, but at the same time, it's I can see how you draw that conclusion based off him not even mentioning him. You think he would say something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, here's the inactive list, Emilio. We got the following Packers are not expected to play in Saturday's preseason finale against Seattle at Lambeau Field. Christian Watson, Jordan Love, Jaden Reed, Dontavion Wicks, Nate Hobbs, Xavier McKinney. Nothing surprising so far, right? Marshawn Lloyd, Zane Anderson, Omar Brown, Colin Oliver, Jared Bartlett. Jacob Monk is not playing. Is that an injury? If that's a healthy scratch,
that's not good.
Does that mean
no, that's got to be an injury, Clay. There's no way they would healthy. I feel like they would have wanted to give him reps.
Yeah, give him an opportunity. That's great. Yeah. John Williams obviously banged up. Elton Jenkins, I don't know what the reason is. Maybe the back bothered him, or they just said, hey, we know what we got there, obviously. Let's get a good look at these other guys at center and move some guys around. Savion Williams is inactive. Devontae Wyatt is inactive. Kenny Clark inactive, and Baron Sorrell. So you're going to see Brinson and Stackhouse, folks. Cue in on that. That's going to be a lot of fun to see what they do for sure. So, all right, Emilio, final thoughts, man. Anything else you want to hit on here?
Malfair said, thanks, folks. Appreciate you coming in here. Love a good fan, man. Glad you kept it clean. Interested in, he said, Milrow playing 4 quarters.
That's true, yeah. And you guys know.
What I like is, okay, we're getting another running quarterback, somebody that you got to account for. Run pass option, read option. You got to stay on your keys. The D ends is going to be a big game for the edge rushers. Are you holding that edge? Are you crashing on the running back? Who's got pitch man? I mean, shoot, we could see a little triple option here, and I wouldn't put it past him at all.
And as far as Milrow, he's from what I've heard, he's going to play all 4 quarters. People laughed at me over this, all right, and I understand why, because a lot of people are really, really low on Jalen Milrow. Our draft board had Jalen Milrow as the 3rd best quarterback in this draft. We had Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Milrow, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, Will Howard, Dylan Gabriel, Riley Leonard, Kyle McCord, on and on. So we actually had Jalen Milrow as the 3rd best quarterback in the draft. Now, I will say this. He's either going to be an absolute hit or he's going to be out of the league pretty quick, I believe. Because it's one of those things that the year before he came out in the draft, his deep ball was deadly at Bama. And then the final year of college, right? So if he can return back to the year before form, and like you said, man, just an absolute freak athlete as well. Jackson Dart was the other guy I caught some heat over. Many people didn't think Jackson Dart was going to be that good. He's had a hell of a preseason. Shedeur Sanders was before he hurt his oblique. So Jalen Milrow is really the only question out of those top 4 that I feel like we may have been inaccurate on, and we're going to get a good look at it today.
But I do remember DJ said specifically Jalen Milrow was the only quarterback in the draft that it was an 80 out of an 80 or whatever on the baseball scale, but the only quarterback in the draft with 100% score on one aspect, which was his running. Like, dude was elite at running. So I think it's just going to be a good test and practice for the defense. One more from Alfair said Seahawks watch Claydew, Arroyo, and then outs. Oh, and on defense, Eamon Wari, the safety. I always liked him coming out. He was nice in college football. I ran him at the safety spot for a while, Clay. But I think that's not bad. And it's Elijah Arroyo right at wide receiver, I want to say.
Tight end out of Miami.
But
he was arguably the best receiving tight end.
Vertical threat. Yep, absolutely.
We had him as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th best tight end in the entire draft. And we actually had him, Harold Fannin Jr., and Gunnar Helm in the same tier, just less than 1 point apart, essentially.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we got just a few minutes here. All right.
Before they run, sorry. King Tron, one more super chat. Appreciate you, my man. McManus reffing tonight. He never misses anything.
Hey,
tell me about it.
Hey, put him out there and tell him to keep the flag in the pocket on Anthony Belton. You know what I mean?
He doesn't even need a whistle. That's too much power.
I love that he said that too. It's too much power. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're looking for Packers content, and any Seahawks fans that want to jump in the post game show too. Feel free to sub to the channel. You can always unsub immediately after, but we will be going live for a post game show immediately following the game. I'm going to go get the stream set up right now. That way, you guys can use it as a chat. So just look for on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel. Look for the post-game show link to pop up here in a second, and y'all can use that chat to kind of talk about what's going on in the game. I will be in there all day as well, watching it off to the side. Now, I may comment a time or two as well as I'm charting the game. So, Emilio, appreciate you jumping in here, buddy. I know you're usually not here on the weekends. You got stuff going on, but really appreciate you taking time, man.
Got up just in time, right, Clay? We're good to go.
All right, now go back to sleep. Everybody have a great game. Like I said, we'll be in here chatting on the post-game stream. And, we'll see y'all immediately following the game here. Hopefully the Packers get a dub, and more importantly, everybody stays healthy, and we see some flashes from those key players we want to see take that next step as we inch our way to week 1. We'll see y'all at the post-game show.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.